and welcome to my mise-en-scene analysis of the royal family dinner scene in Shrek 2. The scene begins with a fade-in into the location, which would be the dining room of the castle. The camera then zooms out from a close-up of Shrek's face to a long shot of the rest of the table, where we can see the other characters of the scene, Fiona and her parents. Behind Shrek, a large stuffed eagle is mounted over the fireplace. The light coming from the fireplace casts ominous shadows on the bird, which has its wings and talons outstretched, poised as if it's about to swoop in and claim Shrek as its prey. The color scheme of this scene, which consists of various reds with yellow accents, turn what would usually be a cozy setting into one that's slightly intimidating, especially with the eagle looming over Shrek. I feel this is a clever little symbolism showing how small and out of place Shrek feels, like he's walking on eggshells, as he is a common ogre in the presence of royalty. Notice how Fiona and her parents are wearing garments you'd expect from a royal, paired with jewelry like their crowns and Fiona's necklace, whereas Shrek still has his casual everyday clothes on. For the mise-en-scene, it shows how he sticks out from the norm in this case.
I guess not.
This shot lasts for 2 whole seconds, long enough for the audience to feel the same sense of awkwardness Shrek feels of not knowing which utensils to use before he makes the choice to not even bother with them and use his hands, which King Harold does not appreciate.
An ogre from a swamp. Oh, how original.
Well, I suppose that will be a fine place to raise the children.
Here we get a long shot of the table, which shows us how isolated Shrek is from the rest of the group. Although Fiona and her mother are seated in the center, thus acting like a barrier and potential mediators, it's at a considerable distance from their spouses. Meanwhile, King Harold is seated directly across from Shrek, which gives off an aggressive, almost hostile vibe between the two. Also notice how Donkey is seated between the king and queen, despite being Shrek's best friend. He could have been seated next to Shrek for silent moral support, but the fact that he's not furthers the visual and literal isolation Shrek is experiencing.
It's a bit early to be thinking about that, isn't it?
Indeed. I just started eating.
Harold!
What's that supposed to mean?
Dad, it's great, okay?
Well, for his type, yes.
My type?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
As the servants come out from the kitchen, we get 2 shots showing Shrek and Harold as food is placed in front of them, displaying the tension.
Bon appetit.
Oh, Mexican food!
Then we get a rotating overhead shot as the servants bring out the rest of the food, alerting the audience of the upcoming showdown between Shrek and King Harold.
I suppose any grandchildren I could expect from you would be...
Ogres. Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Right, Harold?
Oh, no, of course not. That is
The camera begins to slowly zoom in on Shrek and King Harold as soon as the king slices the lobster, emphasizing the building aggression in what is essentially a fight over dominance, especially when the two simultaneously reach for the pig.
You're not her father.
It's so nice to have the family together for dinner. Harold! Shrek!
Fiona!
Mom! Harold!
Donkey!
In this long shot, the attention is now focused on Fiona as she is the closest to the center. Our eyes are drawn to her as she stands up from her chair, visibly upset. The angle changes into a close-up before panning to follow her out the door, thus ending the scene with an angered king and guilty Shrek.